Okay, this is our Spiral 1 review day 1. First off, we're going to start by solving an equation. So get rid of your parentheses first to distribute. So negative 10n plus 24 plus 24n equals negative 6n plus 24. Combine like terms on the left. So that's 14n plus 24 equals negative 6n plus 24. Get your variables on the same side. I always move this smaller, so negative 6n to larger, which is the 14n. 14n plus 6n is 20n plus 24 equals 24. Subtract 24 from both sides. So you have 20n equals, well, 24 minus 24 is 0. That's okay. Divide by 20 on both sides. N equals 0. So there's your y-intercept, which is also called your initial value or starting point. There's another pretty point on my graph. Remember, rise over run, that is my slope. That is telling you how fast or slow the rate is increasing or decreasing. To graph lines, and they must be in slope-intercept form.
Okay, so remember when we're graphing the edge elastic or anywhere, it's got to be in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, which our first two examples are. So make sure we hit line, and you're always, so first equation is y equals 3x minus 5. You're always going to start your y-intercept. The y-intercept is the number by itself, not attached to the x. Then you're going to use your slope, the number that has the x, to get to your second point. Well, this is just a 3, so that means I'm going to go up 3, so it's positive 3, and over 1. There is my equation of my line. That is y equals 3x minus 5. Okay, now let's do the next example. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 6. So again, hit that line. Y-intercept is a positive 6. My slope is negative 1/2. That means I'm going to go down 1 and to the right 2. That slope is negative, and there's my y-intercept of 6.
Okay, what happens if it's not in slope-intercept form? You have to convert it.
Okay, so for this one, we have to get y by itself. So if we cover it up, we have this 2x. So I'm going to need to subtract 2x from both sides. Subtract 2x from both sides. When I do that, please cancel. Negative 3y comes down, equal sign comes down. Now, no like terms over here. Put the x term first, and then the number by itself. Now, what is still attached to that y is a negative 3. So we need to divide everything by negative 3. When we divide it by negative 3, the negative 3's cancel here. So y comes down. Now, negative 2 divided by negative 3, you divide 2 negatives, you get a positive. The x comes down. And 6 divided by negative 3 is negative 2. Now that is in slope-intercept form. So now go ahead and graph it. Okay, so make sure you have your line, y-intercept, which is negative 2, and your slope up 2 and to the right 3. There's your line.
Okay, writing equations of lines.
Okay, so we are going to write some equations of lines. We have, when we're given a slope and a y-intercept first. Okay, when you're given a slope and a y-intercept, remember, you always want to y equals mx plus b. So all you're going to do here, keep the y, replace the m with your slope, so in our case is 1/2, keep the x, and then minus 2 as your b. There is slope-intercept one. Easy when it's given that. What happens when I'm given a point and a slope? Again, remember, y equals mx plus b. Now this time, we know our slope So I know that's going to go in there, but I don't know my y-intercept. But what you do know is you do have a y value and you do have an x value. X, y. So my y is 4, my x is -3, and I'm going to find my b value. So I have 4 equals -9 plus b. Add 9 to both sides. So b equals 13. Do not stop there. We got to finish writing the equation. Y equals m, which is 3, m x plus b. There's your equation. Now the last one that we have is when you're given 2 points. Again, y equals mx plus b. This one's got a couple more steps. So what we need to do here is I need to find my slope first. Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 is 16 minus y1, which is 4, over x2, which is -9, minus x1, which is 3. 16 minus 4 is 12. -9 minus 3 is -12. So my slope is -1. So I have my slope. Do you have your y-intercept? You do not. So you're going to go back up to what we did before. We want it y equals mx plus b. Well, I'm going to use my first point right here, x, y. So 4 equals -1, parenthesis 3, plus b. So 4 equals -3 plus b. Add 3 to both sides, so 7 equals b. Now I have what I need. Y equals -x plus 7. Remember, when you have a slope of -1 or +1, you do not need to write it down.
Making predictions using scatter plots.
Okay, so when we make predictions using scatter plots, we want to use Desmos to do all the work. So we're going to open Desmos, we're going to hit that plus sign, and we're going to go to table. Your top row is always going to be your x, your bottom row is going to be your y. So 384, 277, 592, 170, 060, 490, and 375. Okay, you're not usually going to see your points, and that's okay. So what this wants us to do is it wants us to get our equation. Come on, best pick. Y1 squiggle mx1 1 plus b. Remember, that's y1 squiggle. That squiggle is shift the button to the left of the number 1. There's your m, and there's your b. They're not always going to be pretty, and that's okay. It's totally fine. So I have our scatter plot. I have an equation of the best fit. Predict the grade for a student stay for 6 hours. Now, the hours, is that my x or my y? Hopefully you realize that is my x. So what you're going to do is you're going to type x equals 6, and you're going to zoom out in your minus key until those two lines intersect. 6 hours is going to get you probably 100%, which would be great. That would be absolutely awesome, okay? So 6 hours predicting will get you close to 100%, 99.9, all right? Predict how many hours a student studied. We got an 80. Now the 80, that's my y value, so you're going to do y equals 80. You're going to see where those two intersect. So 80 hours is like 2.8 or about 3 hours. Either answer would be fine with me. So if you study for about 3 hours, you're going to get an 80-ish, or 2.8 hours, you're going to get an 80.
Writing and graphing inequalities.
Okay, so writing and graphing inequalities. Well, I'm going to show you how to do it, help you out solve out in Desmos, and then how to do it in Edulastic. So the first one, y is greater than or equal to -4x minus 2. So y is greater than or equal to negative 4x minus 2. Remember, Desmos does almost everything for you. And the nice thing here is you want to check your x and y intercepts. Now you can't use this one because it's a half point, and Eduelastic doesn't like that. So I'm going to have to use my y-intercept and then my slope. And it's a solid line, and I'm shaded above what kind of looks like to the left here. So make sure you're heading line. Go down to negative 2. I'm going to go down 4 and over 1. And like I said, I'm going to keep it solid because it's got that line underneath it. And then you're going to hit that area, and it's going to shade it that direction. Okay? Now remember, your solutions are going to be anything in the shaded region or on a solid line. All right? Undo that, show you another one. So that's just graphing just a regular inequality. There's the first one. Now we have a system that we're going to graph. So I'm going to get this one out. So y is less than negative 1/2 x plus 3. So those 2 points are good to use. I'm totally fine with that. Or you can use the y-intercept and the slope. Either one doesn't matter to me. And then y is greater than 2x minus 2. That one's good. That one's also good. Okay, so I'm going to graph both of these in. Doesn't matter which one you do first. So I'll do this one. I'll do the black line first. Negative 2 and 1. And that's going to be a dashed line. And then I'm going to pick the area, go back to Desmos. It's on this side, but graph's on that side, so we can pick that area. Actually, we should probably pick one once we're all done with everything. And then let's do the purple line. So 0, 3, and 6, 0. So line 0, 3, and 6, 0. Draw that line. It is a dashed line. And then look where the double shading is. So here's just black, here's none, there's just purple, here's where they both are. So when you go into area, make sure it's shaded where they both are shaded.
Okay, so now you'll do your choice board, follow the directions, and let me know if you need anything.